Hi, I'm Carl Schilling, and I'm the founder and the CEO of the Advocacy Network, and I want to welcome you here this evening. I know that you were invited by a financial concierge who works closely with us here at Advocacy. Give you an idea about us at Advocacy, what we do is we eliminate all forms of financial victimization. To date, we've worked with quite a few people and saved over $7.5 million. Now, we do this through creating awareness, providing financial literacy education, which is always free through our workshops, and lastly, and most importantly, helping people reach financial independence. We like to work as closely as possible, and we do that through our financial concierges. So this evening, I wanted to share a very important message with you. We want to talk to you about financial independence, nothing else, just financial independence. Why so few reach it? What's the problems, what's the solutions, and how to take the first step to financial independence. And that's what we are going to be doing this evening in this session. So let's get started by talking about the first step to financial independence. We want to look at the traditional scenario right now that exists, okay? And this is kind of the normal condition. Really, we want to reach out to the middle class and really reach the middle class and the mass affluent, because those are the areas where people are having the most struggle getting into financial independence. But the majority of people, just like yourself, they work, they earn, they spend, they borrow, and they pay. And it's in the process of borrowing that they're losing future dollars in the payments of that, because we're going to get into that and show you what that means. But they basically are paying interest into the future, and that's a loss of dollars. So what we really have as the statistical proof is that we live in a society where 95% of the people reaching age 65 and older, the fourth quarter of life, they're either dead broke, or at best, financially dependent. That's what we don't want to have happen for you. We want you to be able to reach financial independence and avoid this scenario. Now, the 5% who do reach financial independence, mainly they have a little better handle on financial literacy, have a little more education in it, and obviously they do the same things. They work, they earn, they spend, they borrow, and they then have a first step prior in the midst of these payments. That first step allows them to stop losing money into the future. So as they stop losing money, they then get into a condition where the sound money principle is money earns money. So they can earn interest on their money and put their money to work for them. And that's the difference. That's what separates the financially dependent from the financially independent. So let's look at why so many people are in this financially dependent window. We're the wealthiest nation in the world. Some say we're the wealthiest nation in the history of civilization. Okay, that's always debatable. But at the same time, in the midst of all of that, we are also the highest rate of financial illiteracy in the world. So that seems to be a great conundrum. Why in the world would we be stuck with so much financial illiteracy in the wealthiest nation in the world? Well, this is why 95% of the population ends up financially dependent. I saw a study last week that also showed that 77% of all American families are living from paycheck to paycheck. That means that basically they have no money saved up for emergencies. Now, that's zero in emergencies. Now, where would they go? Most people in the common place to go, the car needs tires, the roof gets a hole in it, all the little things that happen in life. Where do people go? They go to their credit cards. That's their emergency funds. Their credit cards have 19, 21, 22%, as high as 29% interest. Okay, these are huge interest payments. So on average, if you look at the bottom, people on average are losing about $108,000 into their future. This is numbers that came from what we're going to show you tonight about Prospio, the Prospio software. It's averages from them. But that's $108,000 that you never have for your own personal use, for you to then compound and create more money. So you're either going to compound interest for the banks and the credit card companies, or you're going to compound interest for yourself. But it's not going to be a split. It's not going to be either or. So we talk about the concept of financial victimization, and over $250 billion a year is lost in all forms of financial victimization. That's fraud, scams, predatory sales tactics, all these kinds of things. However, the greatest financial victimization, bar none, is amortization. So every loan that you have, every format of money that you have brought from the future into your present, which, by the way, is what you do when you borrow money. When you borrow money, it's your money. It's not the banks, it's not the merchants, it's not the credit card companies. It's your money, but it's money you have not earned yet. So you have brought it from the future to the present for your own lifestyle and life experience. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. However, the penalty for that is a period of time where you need to pay interest. Now, the longer that interest payment period of time goes, the more money you are losing into the future. So you never get to use those dollars for yourself. So what's happening here right now is truly you're enriching the banks, the merchants, and the credit card companies. And it's all being enriched at the expense of your future financial independence. So in the end, when you are financially dependent, the banks, the merchants, and the credit card companies have made astronomical profits off of you. Now, that doesn't have to happen. They still can make a fair profit. You can still have money come from the future, and you can eliminate that interest payment cycle, okay? But this is your greatest financial victimization right now, and almost 100% of Americans are in it. There's over $8 trillion in mortgages, okay? That's just mortgages. So really, here's what happens. Money only does two things, which we'll see in the coming slides, but money pays interest or money earns interest. Now, when it pays interest in the form of those debts and it's paying back interest into the payments, that's a loss of future dollars. That's always a loss. It's never a gain. It's always a loss. When money earns interest, you are accumulating wealth. That's compounding for yourself. So right now, you, like most Americans, are sitting in a situation where you are compounding losses. You're not compounding gain, you're compounding losses. And those losses are hurting you into the future and making it so that you can never, ever become financially independent. That's the cost of paying interest well into the future. So we have a first step. We have a solution, okay? The solution is called Prospio. Prospio is a money management software that's about 18 years old, been around quite a while. In fact, the first generation of Prospio started with a company that accumulated itself into a $500 million sales organization through the sale of Prospio. Now, at that time, Prospio was costing $3,500 one time. You had to pay for it up front. You had to pay $3,500 plus some form of some ongoing monthly administration fees. But that being said, at that kind of cost and that kind of availability, who do you think was buying it? $500 million worth of sales. Obviously, it was being bought by the people in the upper class wealth arenas, so they were using it for their own benefits, obviously, and it wasn't getting down to everybody else. But $3,500 was quite an expense for something. So again, Prospio helps you because there's only two things you can do with money. You're either going to pay interest or you're going to earn interest. And you're not going to pay interest and earn interest at the same time. Now, some people do. That's called arbitrage. But you have to be a really gazillionaire, okay, to really use the advantage of arbitrage. You have to be in the 1% and plus in order to do that. So you're not going to pay interest and earn interest at the same time. It's not available, okay? You're going to do one of the two. And the longer you pay interest, the less opportunity you have to earn interest, the less opportunity you have to become financially independent. Now, Prospio is going to see to it that you get down that road and you get over to the 5%. Now, give you a little bit of an idea, Prospio is now owned and licensed and internationally through a company called TriVesta. So they have the rights and everything for Prospio. Prospio's in its 6th or 7th generation. So now it combines everything. Prospio now works with not just your mortgage, but it also works on your auto loans, your credit card debt, your student loans, every factor of loan where you're paying interest back, it's going to show how to shorten the cycle and eliminate that debt. Now, it's going to do so without you using any more dollars. It's not going to ask you to come up with any more income or dollars. It's going to take your existing debt service and it's going to reallocate and redistribute how you make your payments. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about TriVesta. As you know, the Advocacy Network, which is my organization, is wholly committed to helping people avoid financial victimization. So we totally vet and do a very deep scrutiny on any organizations that we deal with. So we have strategic alliances in many different areas for our financial concierges. But TriVesta has been fully vetted. We looked into everything, and it's a good, solid company who can deliver and do what they say they do. Now, Prospio is the software product that we are endorsing through TriVesta, and the first step of the process, it's simply a money management software. Now, to give you a little bit of a credibility factor for Prospio, during its prime first cycle, when it was, like I say, being sold at $3,500 and so, Ernst & Young gave it an Entrepreneur of the Year award. Now, Ernst & Young does not put their label out there lightly. Ernst & Young would never put it on something that didn't work. So Prospio has a very strong track record of doing what it said it could do and successfully doing it. So now we have it where we are bringing it available to the middle class, to the mass affluent, and now everyone can take advantage of this and truly get the first step to financial independence. So we really are taking a big step forward. It's over 100 years where this 95-5 thing is going on, okay? So now we have a chance to really, I think, get some inroads and help some people really understand how to reach financial independence and put their money to work for them. So here's what happens with Prospio. It's totally transparent right up front, so we make everybody understand what's involved, what you need to do. Now, if you look at that little cartoon, you'll see the gentleman asking the other one, can a rising tide lift a boat that has a huge hole in the bottom? We all know the answer to that is no. So your financial plan, as it were, whether you have one or you don't right now, your financial plan at present has a hole in it. It's usually a hole that most people are not aware of. So it's a boat with a hole in it that people don't even know exists. That hole is losing money into the future because you are losing that money in the form of interest payments. The longer you pay interest, the longer you lose money into the future. Those are dollars that you never have for your own use. Those are dollars you never get to compound and turn money into money for yourself. So Prospio will solve that problem for you. And here's what's involved with Prospio. It's $249.95 setup. That includes your first month. After that, it's $69.95 per month, ongoing. That is what is involved in you investing for yourself to take the first step to reach financial independence. That is going to plug up the hole in the boat. That's going to assure you that you can move down the road to financial independence. Now, is that going to make you financially independent? Not right away, because what it needs to do for you is it's the first step. You need to work in close conjunction with your financial concierge on all kinds of conditions and decisions to get you to financial independence. But we will do that. We will do that every step of the way with you. But there's no progress to financial independence without first plugging that hole. And TriVesta, with the Prospio product, will do that for you. Now, your financial concierge has invited you and brought you to a webinar so you could see a little more deep dive on it. So we recommend you can enroll back at that trivesta.com/whoever your financial concierge is, or you can speak with them directly and they'll help walk you through it. But here's what I'd recommend you do as well. The first thing we want you to do is look at the testimonials on the website, because the testimonials are people just like yourself. The testimonials are people who you work with, people who you socialize with, people who are in the same socioeconomic condition as yourself. And it's nice to hear from them why Prospio made sense, why Prospio was important, and what has Prospio done for them. So that's important that you hear that, and I think that there's some really powerful testimonials on the website. The next thing is there's a calculator on the website, and you can put some of your own factual information into the calculator, and it'll give you a nice report. That report will show you exactly what it might mean to you. How much can you save, and what will it look like in the future for you? Okay? Now, that brings us to the point where most people, I think, have a little struggle and a little difficulty in making these kinds of decisions, which we understand. Everyone has a little bit of a procrastination period and a little bit of difficulty sometimes making a change or deciding that this is something I need to do. Now, I could tell you all day, all night, and I could twist your arm. We're not going to do that. But I do want you to be aware that there is no pathway to financial independence as long as you're losing money. It's just impossible. It doesn't make a difference what anybody tells you. It doesn't make a difference what the radio talking heads tell you, Money Magazine. It's totally fruitless. You can't lose money and gain money into the future. So you need to stop losing money, okay? Now, the other side of that is we have a money back full no risk guarantee. So we want to make sure that you're well protected. So TriVesta has created a 6-month money back guarantee. Now I've seen 30 days, 60 days, even 90. Rarely, or not even, can I find a 6-month guarantee. So what you have is a 6-month money back guarantee that if you don't double what you paid in at the end of 6 months, then you get all your money back. So you can safely, comfortably use the software, get it started, make it help you start moving forward in life on financial independence, and feel safe that you are not throwing money away at all whatsoever. The cost factor is very reasonable. It's $250 to get you started, and it is $69.95 a month. And once you're a member, once you are in and fully enrolled, a financial concierge will be able to show you how you can eliminate that monthly payment, if that's important to you, okay? So in essence, you could honestly have Prospio for basically free on the ongoing into the future. This is something that's going to save you on average $108,000. It's going to make a massive difference in your life, and it's going to definitely take you down a pathway to financial independence. And everything from there will be something that you work together with your financial concierge, because again, your best interest is our only concern. And here's a wonderful thing. As you reach financial independence, we have the same goal and aspirations in life. So that's how we're connected as partners, because your financial concierge is also going to reach financial independence with you. So you are truly partnered up. Nobody has more vested interest in one another than the duality of both people becoming financially independent. And that's all we're really doing here. But there's an opportunity, I think, to change a great deal of what's ever going on in our society for this period of time, for us to be sitting here with 95% of the population never achieving financial independence. That is sad. It's sad. There's a big gap, and that gap can be covered. This is your first step. This is something that's vitally important. This is something that'll take you down the road, and it will open the doorways for you to become financially independent. And look, financial independence means you can do what you want, go where you want, be who you want, when you want, see who you want, help who you want. It gives you a whole nother world that you don't have to rely on anybody else, ever. So financial independence is really total independence. It's total freedom, okay? Because it's financial freedom, which allows you to do everything you want to do in life. Again, $250, $69.95 a month, okay? So about $70 a month. I'm Carl Schilling. I want to thank you again so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. I hope this message resonates with you. I hope you understand the importance of financial independence, what it means in your life, what it means in your family's life, what it means in the future. So, and the only way to establish that is to take the first step and stop losing money into the future. Again, thanks so much. We look forward to serving you and helping you any way possible. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks for your time.